Michael Steele has some advice for not only Democrats, but the country as a whole. Donald Trump is not done yet. And remember, he's playing a game. And it is important for us to understand the game that he's playing along with his sycophants and surrogates. And what Michael Steele is saying, I tell you what, let's go ahead and listen to him, and then we'll take it on the other side.
Every lawyer I've talked to at this point says, only question is Donald Trump going to do a deal, or is Donald Trump going to end up in prison? And the only political question is, if he doesn't do a deal, a universal deal, and he ends up in prison, will the Republican Party nominate somebody and elect somebody while they're in jail, or will they choose a different path forward? It's pretty stark. And again, these lawyers I talk to, again, Republicans and Democrats alike, they say he can pose, he can preen, he can say whatever he wants to say. At the end of the day, the walls aren't closing in on him. The walls have closed in on him. He's got 90 indictments. And even his biggest apologists legally have said even one of those indictments could amount to a life sentence.
Yeah, I think that's all right on point. Look, Joe, we are where we knew we'd be. Once this process started, so you've got people, sort of like, oh, this moment. Well, I'm sorry. I factored this moment in a long time ago because this is the natural course of how it should have gone once you started down the road in these four separate indictments of holding this president accountable. From my view, watching yesterday the motorcades and the security, 80 motorcycles stationed, I'm sitting there going, he lost those privileges the moment this whole thing started to unravel. And yet we still try to keep him elevated on the same level as a Barack Obama or a George Bush or a former president. He's not. He is now an indicted individual. 4 times 91 counts. He's got a mugshot. He's got an inmate number. He's not. He's a former president, but he's a lot of other former things too. And so I think the country now has to begin to contextualize all of this. The lawyers that you cited are exactly right. The politics on this is exactly clear. And we already know, Joe, what the politics is. We're seeing it play out. Jim Jordan and his ilk are all on defense to protect and block and tackle for Donald Trump to slow this process, because in their warped mind, Donald Trump wins next year. Come hell or high water, the fixes in state in election boards and processes around the country are already setting it up. So let's not be surprised and act like, oh, my God, we didn't see this coming. They've been telegraphing it and preparing for it for over 2 years now. So we know what they're doing on the ground in a lot of states, particularly key states like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Shall I go on? We've heard these places before, right? So let us stop being surprised by stuff and get in the game and understand exactly what Jim Jordan and all the others are doing to set up 2024. And when that happens, we'll know how to deal with it because we will have dealt with it before that moment. And so this for me, this mugshot, we knew Donald Trump was going to put it on a T-shirt. We knew what he was going to say. All right. He's going to make his bling off of it. He's going to get his cash because that's what it's always been about. So let's factor it all in, and Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to take a mugshot of herself. Don't worry, baby. Your turn may come sooner than you think. All right. So let's understand the moment beyond the shock and awe of it and recognize that the politics is in play. The legal system is doing what it should do. And the American people now need to decide whether or not they want to put this man back in the White House.
We shouldn't take what Michael Steele is saying lightly. It is imperative that effective now, we start preparing for all the roadblocks, all the confusion, all the chaos that Trump and his sycophants and his cronies are getting ready to unleash. The idea is to create mass confusion so that in that mass confusion, folks would lose or take their eye off the ball, that we had a criminal who was once at some time the president of this country, that we have a criminal who stole information from this country, classified information. We have a criminal who attempted to overthrow the United States of America, the election that has recently occurred. And we have a criminal who sold out the United States by using his properties to make a hell of a lot of money for himself. And note, this billionaire, now that he is in severe legal trouble, it's not only that he's willing to create chaos in the country, but he also wants you to pay for the chaos he's creating, because those emails go out every day. Give me money for my defense. I'm defending you. Those emails go out. Buy my merchandise, including the one that shows I am inmate number XXXXX. I can't remember the number. Let's stop being stooges to this guy, and let's start remembering that planning needs to start today. Because even if he is the nominee, he will definitely lose, but he will be out there talking about, I won. And now when I say definitely lose, I mean the amount of people that vote for him. Because don't forget, we're in an electoral college-driven country where we must go out there and do the work to make sure that the electoral college reflects the popular vote. Folks, there's a lot on you. You cannot get out of the game now. In fact, it's imperative that all Americans enter the game now. That's the way America wins. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.